Welcome to Split Education. I'm Cordelia the Educator. Great to have you here. So your child hates reading. You've tried everything, the colourful books, the school books, the fun ones, but every time it's reading time, you're met with sighs, eye rolls, or just total resistance. If that sounds familiar, don't worry because you're not alone and you're not failing as a parent. But here's the good news. Most kids don't actually hate reading. They hate feeling bored, stuck, or just pushed too hard. And in today's video I'm going to show you exactly why that happens and what you can do to change it. And of course, as always, if you stay until the end, I'll share my number one tip that completely changed things in my home. It's actually the reason that my 10-year-old is writing her first book and my 5-year-old now reads independently every morning before breakfast, which makes me as a parent super happy. So stick around, it's simple but powerful, so make sure you stay for that. But first, let's talk about reading. Reading, it's a skill, not a personality. And we often hear, he's just not a good reader, or she's just not into books. But the truth is, nobody is born loving or hating reading. Reading is a skill, just like riding a bike or simply like swimming. And if that skill hasn't been developed with confidence and curiosity, reading becomes a chore. For a lot of kids, saying, I hate reading, actually means I feel like I'm not good at this. Or it could mean this book simply doesn't make sense. Or it could actually mean it's boring and I don't get to choose. Children don't always say what they want to say. They could even be thinking, everyone else is better than me at this. I just don't want to do it. And, here's something that nobody tells parents. Even your child's teacher would never tell you. Sometimes schools just push children to read before they're developmentally ready. That pressure, it simply builds resistance. And it makes our children want to not read. It makes them start hating books and hating reading. But do not worry, because there's things that we as parents can do about it. So here are 4 great tips that work even with the most reluctant reader. Number 1, take the pressure off. Reading doesn't have to mean chapter books. You can dip into comics, magazines, even recipes. It all counts as reading. Tip number 2, read aloud, even for the older kids. A book before bed is simply perfect for this. You see, storytelling creates connection, and when they hear emotion in your voice, they start to feel the joy again. So be silly about it. Pop on a funny hat, use a silly voice, throw in some tickles along the way. Tip number 3, let them choose, even if it's silly, even if it's the same book on repeat again, because their choice means their power. And trust me, I understand how frustrating it can be to read the same book 10 times over, but we're building budding readers over here, and that simply takes effort. Number 4, celebrate effort, not pages. 1 page is better than none. Reading confidence builds through small, consistent wins. When my youngest was starting off, I only asked him to read 1 word per page. Yes, 1 word per page. Do not push them, otherwise they'll push right back. You see, we as parents, we don't have to figure everything out alone. Here are 3 really powerful books to support you and your little one along their reading journey, and they're all linked in the description down there somewhere. Book number 1 is Raising Passionate Readers. This book helps you shift from reading rules to reading joy. So simply check it out. The next one is Read Aloud Handbook. I really love this because it's a gold mine for sort of making reading a shared family experience, which we as parents, we get so busy, we simply forget that we need to make experience and continue to make experiences for our children that they actually enjoy. And the last book is Helping Your Child with Language-Based Learning Disabilities. So if reading seems like a real struggle, this book really offers compassion, a compassionate and practical support for you and your family. And that thing that I was talking about at the start, my number 1 reading tip that changed everything. Let your child see you reading all the time, not for work, not for homework, but for pleasure. As you know, kids copy what we do, not what we say. So if they see you reading with curiosity and interest and excitement, they're going to absorb that energy. Don't just tell them reading's important, show them how important it is. I started reading visibly to my children from a very young age, I was reading books and magazines, anything that I loved, and without saying a word, my kids just followed through. And they started copying me, so they'd get a book and start reading it even before they could actually read. And now my 10-year-old, she's writing her first novel, and my 5-year-old, he reads every morning before breakfast, and it's fantastic because sometimes I don't even ask him to do so. It's just something that he actually enjoys doing because mom enjoys it too. Because reading it isn't a race, it's a relationship, and you can build it and it can be repaired even if it's been a little bit rocky so far. So remember to check out the books. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos just like this, because your child deserves to grow up curious, confident and completely unstoppable. Hope that helped. I'll see you on the next one.